Good morning, everybody. How are we? Jade, how are you today? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. All good.
Thank you for joining us today. Couple of things that I just want to call out very, very early on.
Bit of a
Um,
change.
yeah,
I'm not
there.
Amanda.
Yeah, Jade's with us today, and not Amanda. Unfortunately, Amanda is poorly. She is absolutely devastated that she couldn't be here today to really give me the introduction. So I'm kind of going to do both things today. I'm going to talk very briefly about club before I move into what you're all here today and really about your roadmap to smarter hiring. Just want to call out as well that we are today, for the first time, presenting live from Canva. We've come away from the old school PowerPoint days, and we're using Canva. So do bear with me in case there is any teething issues, which I've just experienced. I randomly hit C on my keyboard and it decided to do some really, really weird presentation. So just bear with me as we find our feet. But look, I want to kick everything off. So please do come say hi in the chat if you've got any questions throughout today's presentation. If you want to ask me anything or Jade anything, please do fire away at any time. We're here to answer any questions that you might have. When you exit today's webinar, there will be a feedback form. If you could please give feedback, not only on today's content, was it delivered to your expectations? We're always about reflection and improvement. So please do take 2 seconds to give us your feedback. There is also a CPD certificate alongside this webinar as well. So in the feedback form, if you do request if you do require a CPD certificate, do let us know and we'll get something over to you as soon as we can. So just want to kick things off. If the clicker decides to work, knowing my luck, it's not. Welcome to Canva. I just want to call out quickly all of the collaborators now collaborating with the Financial Planning Club. Some amazing firms here that are all having such a positive impact on the firms that we are supporting. It's becoming a really good community now, from marketing to compliance to tech to recruitment and everything in between. If your business is going through a particular challenge or looking for change in any way, shape, or form, we have got so many collaborators that can help you with your current business journey. So please do take a look at some of our collaborators. We are absolutely building a community that works for everybody. Our WhatsApp groups is where the foundation of the club started. I think there's about 1,400 people in our WhatsApp groups now. So business owners, financial advisors, paraplanners, ops managers, mortgage advisor and study groups, they've all got their own community. Because we want to keep the conversations really impactful, really relevant. Somebody has absolutely been there and done it and got the t-shirt, so you shouldn't have to go on this journey on your own. So if you would like to be a part of any of our WhatsApp communities, again, in the feedback form, there is going to be a little section for you to get involved. Club Live is our webinars, expert-led, practical CPD accredited as well. Every week we've got something new coming up along with our podcast, which I'm sure some of you have seen or heard. Just touching briefly on the 3 webinars that we've got in the diary for Feb and March. We're with Albion, which is about retirement income strategies, dealing with sequencing risk. We are then with the incredible Kate at Timeline. So the practice of the future, so engaging families, not just clients. And then back with Bear Rock for a case review excellence, sort of a PI perspective. So really good webinars, all LIBF CPD accredited as well. So please do share with your teams if you'd like to come along and really build your knowledge in some of these areas. It's really good, really insightful. So let's take a look at, as you all know, we asked you all some questions when you registered about what you're experiencing at the moment when it comes to hiring and everything in between. So who's here? Who's in the room? Mainly advisors, directors, some power planners as well, really sort of small to medium sized firms. So this isn't your first hire in many, many cases. there's a big recruitment intent. Most firms are either actively recruiting or planning to hire over the next 3 to 6 months. So again, if you're experiencing anything at the moment, that you'd like answers to, it's not just me in the room that is on a similar journey to you at the moment. There's loads of other people as well. So drop a comment in and someone might be able to help you. Most roles that people are recruiting for is the support roles. It's the client services, the administrators, the paraplanners. We've had some compliance as well. Naturally, advisors do follow on the back of that. There is quite a bit of urgency. We're looking at most firms immediately or within the next 1 to 3 months as well. So the feedback was interesting because it's lack of time, it's internal resource, and it's the confidence in making the right hire. So the three highest answers that we gave you in terms of that list, it's just having the time, it's the confidence in making the right hires. So hopefully we'll go through some insights for you all today. The clicker is now working, which is amazing. So briefly, I'm Leold. I'm co-founder of Antony George Recruitment. We are a recruitment business that has been running for over 10 years now. We are a little bit different in the way that we do things, and I'll walk you through that as we go throughout today's webinar. Ultimately, my goal for today is give you a repeatable recruitment strategy tailored to your business. I absolutely get and understand that people want to do their own recruitment. There is enough business in the world for everybody. I don't have to keep this to myself. I'm more than happy to help as many people as we can. All right. So this isn't just about filling roles. It's about real strategic growth for your business. This is a 2-hour workshop that we go through with people, but don't worry, I'm not going to keep you here for 2 hours. I've tried to condense as much of it as I can into 40 minutes, all right, 45 minutes. So we'll hopefully have some time at the end for some Q&A. I also want to run you through some data. So we have a live feed into the FCA data, if you like. We've been recording this information for over 10 years now. So hopefully if we've got a bit of time towards the end, I'll give you some insights as to what the data is telling us about the wonderful market that we all work in. First things first, it's about identifying who you need to hire within your business. This is the biggest thing. Every business, there will come a point where you'll have a little bit of a signal going on in your business. And sometimes if you ignore that signal, the impact is a little bit too big to miss. So really think about your client servicing. Is that starting to slip? Are the higher standards or expectations that you once had in place no longer being met? Are projects always being pushed back because you're constantly firefighting? Are you noticing team members are getting slightly burnt out? We're all busy. I get it. We're pulled from pillar to post. Burnout is such a big thing, all right? Because it's not just bad for them as an individual, it's very bad for your business. But you are at risk of not only of your standards slipping, you're also at risk of losing your best talent as well. Are you missing opportunities by standing still? We are noticing and we are speaking to so many firms that are turning down new business at the moment because of capacity. It's something that we hear all too often. And maybe some of you in the room are thinking the exact same thing about how you are turning down particular clients. You'd love to take them on, but you don't physically have the capacity. And if you're at capacity now, what does that look like at tax year end when everybody gets 10 times busier? If you're targeting your advisors, if the business objective is to grow AUM, bring in new clients, if that is the objective, what is the capacity like for your team? Your back office, your administration, your power planning, your client servicing. What is the capacity of those people within your business? Because if you're constantly filling the hopper up and clients are coming out the other side, I know, a lot of people in industry talk about how many clients and an advisor can look after. Everyone's got a different interpretation of that figure. But that's fine. But what does it look like behind closed doors? The ones that are doing even more work to get the business through and chasing the providers and doing the reports and presenting the cash flow. There is a number that advisors can look after. But what is the overall number that your team can look after as well? So think about what you're targeting your business to achieve in the next 3, 6, 12 months. And what is the capacity for the team? Because that will signal that you might need to hire earlier on so that they're on board, they're up to scratch, they're using your tools, your systems, your software, whatever it may be, way before the workload comes in, and you don't have any kind of business disruption. All right. So do start to think about what signals are being triggered within your business. And what do you need to do about it, really? There's three things that you really need to start thinking, and that's your leadership role at the forefront. Are you working in the business when you should absolutely be working on it? You need to roll your sleeves up and really start to identify and get really specific. What's going on in the business? Where are there pressure points? Where are things slipping? What areas might be suffering the most? What's the stakes? Look, if you do nothing about it, what's the cost? What is the cost? What happens if you simply do nothing? This is all about identifying that and highlighting that you do need to recruit. Roles, responsibilities, impacts, and everything in between. And if you do nothing, what's the cost? What is the damage? Is it the client experience? Is it the growth of the business? Is it the burnout of the team? What is the cost if you continue to go at the rate that you're going at the moment? It's not just anybody. It's really about defining who you really need within your business. If you get it wrong, everything will start to stall. You don't hire another you. We've all been in a situation. And me and Lewis, for example, when we do hiring, and I'll talk to you about that further on as well, I would always gravitate to somebody similar to me. And Lewis might always gravitate to somebody similar to him. But that absolutely creates a bit of blind spots. If everybody in the business all thought the same, where's the new ideas going to come from? So growth does absolutely come from a mix of perspectives. This is something that we lean on a lot in recruitment and within the financial planning club as well. It's really about starting with outcomes and not titles. Everybody starts with a title. I need a X within the business. But what if you flip that and you thought about the outcomes of the next hire, what you need them to be doing, opposed to a job title? What are you still doing that somebody else could take off your plate? And think about that in your team as well. Think about the wider team. Ask them the same question. What are they doing that somebody else could take off their plate? We all know as the business grows that we take on more responsibilities. We all do it. We do it. I do it. You do it. You get busier. I will do that. I will do this. And before you know it, that becomes everyday part of your routine. You're doing it every day because you've been responsible. You've been doing it for the last few months, few years, whatever it may be. As the business grows, we are all taking on more responsibilities. And for me, and for you, hiring isn't just about ticking a box or increasing headcount. It's about building with intention. And sometimes when you ask those type of questions of what are you doing that somebody else in the business can be doing, that's where you're going to get the biggest impact. You're going to get the best answers. So get clear, shape who applies, shape who stands out and how they onboard and how they really contribute to the team if you start with outcomes and not titles. I'll call out maybe somebody in the group. Holly, I know you're attending today's webinar. Good morning. Roles and responsibilities. And I know you've been on a bit of a roles and responsibilities journey and a workshop with the club. And this is important. And we do this with so many people, whether you're a small business, an established business. Roles and responsibilities isn't something that could be written down in 24 hours. Roles and responsibilities is something that you do within a business over a period of time. And we always say minimum 4 weeks. If you're going to run a roles and responsibilities exercise within your business for every single person within the team, do it over 4 weeks and just ask them to do something. Every time you do something within the four walls of our business, Monday to Friday, 9 till 5, write that one thing down. Doesn't matter how big, how small, I don't care what it is. Write everything down that you do within our business. At the end of the 4 weeks or the 6 weeks or whatever timestamp you put on it, you can sit down with that person and you can say, what are your superpowers? What do you absolutely love? What makes you tick? What do you enjoy? What are you not willing to lose? You've got a whole list of things here that you do. You're telling me you do this every 4 to 6 weeks, or during the 4 to 6 week period. What do you love? Let's start pulling that out. What you absolutely love. You don't want nobody else to do that. That's your superpower. Let's keep that. What do you not enjoy so much? What are the things that you've maybe taken on unexpectedly as the business grows? Being a good people pleaser and a nice person that you are, give it to me. I'll do it for you. I'll do it before you know it. It's your full-time responsibility. What are the things that you might not enjoy, or what are the things that are your weaknesses? Well, weaknesses. That you've just inherited, unfortunately, but you certainly didn't start out doing it from day one. Let's start pulling those out. So from that roles and responsibilities over 4 to 6 weeks, you've got two clearly defined lists. On the left, everything I absolutely love. On the right, something that I feel somebody else could do a little bit better than what I do. It might even be a bit of upskilling, whatever it may be, but you've now got two defined lists. This is now identifying the next hire you need within your business. Because what started out as I need a power planner because my power planning team is absolutely stretched thin, might work out that no, maybe your power planners are doing a little bit outside of the power planning remit and you don't need a power planner. You need X. And you've got that because you've got a whole list of outcomes and not the thought of a single job title. So if there's one thing you take from today's webinar, run a roles and responsibilities exercise within your business and find out what people are doing that they absolutely love. And another thing that people might want a little bit of help, bit of training, bit of development, or people just want to completely offload that task as it is. So just think about a good roles and responsibilities exercise. Speak to the club as well, because we can give you some frameworks for that sort of stuff. Job spec. And again, apologies if I'm going a little bit fast. It's just I've got tons of stuff I want to get through to make sure that you walk away with something that you can implement into your businesses. Writing a job spec that works. It's setting the tone for the kind of people who show up. If you think about corporate firms tend to have corporate job ads that, funny enough, attract other people from corporate backgrounds, right? It goes hand in hand. So what you write is who you attract. So really think about how you want to go to market. Think about how you want to be seen in today's market. We don't want to be boring. We don't want to use old recycled job adverts. So just think about it. What you're putting out is who you are going to be attracting to your business. And exactly that. Most job specs are uninspiring. Let's be perfectly honest. Great candidates are going to scroll past. The ones who apply often don't fit. How many people at the moment, I mean, I could probably tell you from the people that registered, that are saying the quality of candidates is just so poor at the moment. They're not getting a good quality of candidate. And that's not just because of your job ad. I'm not going to sit here and say, look, your job ad's poor. That's why you're getting poor candidates. That's the market we're in. That's the wonderful world of recruitment and advertising, right? You'll get every person apply that's not doing the job. That's just part of the parcel. Here's a simple tip for you. Search for the job that you are posting on a job board and have a read. What do you think? What do you need to do to stand out? Because you don't want to blend in. If you want to attract the best people for your business, blending in isn't going to cut it. You have to stand out. So get rid of the buzzwords and the jargon. Get away from just writing a task list. And I think I covered that off in a few slides down about what should be and what shouldn't be in a job description. And just stop using recycled templates. I bet some of you are looking at your job ad and thinking, yeah, every time we want to hire, we use this template and we send this out and we get the same results every time because you're not changing what you're doing. Every single week in our recruitment business, we are changing the way that we advertise. We are changing the way that we create content. We are changing and adapting all the time. So you do need to think about that from your perspective as well. What can you do to change and adapt? So, job ads, what do you need to do? So, you need to really start telling the story. Instead of here's what we need, which is what you tend to see on a job ad, focus on the type of person and why the role exists. And don't just be boring with the roles and the responsibilities in the description. You'll be the first point of contact for clients who. Start with exciting stuff. Avoid lines like, you must have a proven track record in a fast paced environment. Oh my God, how many times have you seen that in a job ad? And everybody goes, yes, I am very part. I've got a proven track record in a fast paced environment. That's what I do every day. It's just boring. Those are the lines that lose people before they even start reading. So they think, oh my Lord, how old and recycled is this template? It's the same old stuff. Be honest about the tough bits. Great candidates want the absolute full picture. Acknowledge any kind of evolving processes or standards. Be clear that you're going on a journey, that you're going through change, and this is what you're doing. Sharing ideas where the team needs help, or where you can add value to the clients or whatever it may be. Start telling a bit more of a story about the role, because the right people will see any challenge that you put in an advert as an opportunity. I've been there, I've done that, I can do this. They've had that problem, I've solved that problem, let me come and help. It's just about looking at things through a different lens. If you was a candidate applying for a job role, what would you like to see on your job description or your job advert, sorry. So think about that. There are two very, very different things. You do not advertise your job description, you advertise a job advert. A job advert tells a story about the business and the role and the evolution and everything, the team, and just that's the advert. You are not advertising a job description. All right. So just think about that. If the clicker works, we will go to the next. There we go. A job ad is absolutely your brand. It's not just an advert; it is absolutely a brand signal. I think we've all seen it, on social media or wherever you're sort of hanging around. You see these firms and you see these brands, and you just see what they're doing. And you just think, how cool is that? How modern and fresh and fun, and how cool is that? What you're putting out is absolutely a brand signal. And too many people are just treating it like a boring checklist. You need to be creative. It shapes how people see you. We live in a world of AI now. I've told you first time today we're presenting from Canva. Canva has now got AI. You can create some wonderful stuff and you've not even got to be good at it. You used to think, oh God, somebody in marketing's had to put that together, or, because it looks so good and marketing. And the most basic things can be put together now and they can look so, so good. To get creative, it tells potential hires everything about the culture and the type of business that you are. Your job ads are about vision. It's there to spark curiosity. It's to speak directly to your ideal candidates. It shows values behind the role. You think when you advertise a job description, the first thing a candidate will do is tailor their CV to match your job description. So that if you're saying, I'm looking for somebody that can do A, B, and C, a candidate will get their CV and go, I can do A, B, and C. So that when you're looking at that candidate, you go, well, they're perfect for the job, because all they've done is just tailor their CV to your job description. So let's start, flipping that bit of roles reversed. All right. Are you posting demands or describing a real meaningful opportunity? You're not just asking for, can you do the job? You're really offering a long-term career. You do need to sort of discuss what's on the table, your earnings, your flexibility, your progression, your learning, the opportunity, where they can be in the next 3, maybe 5 years. Because candidates today have options, and we know hands down they've got options. If I was to rewind the time 5, 6 years ago when we was your typical contingent recruitment business, if you like, the commodity for us was the candidate. That was our commodity. If we had one candidate that was on the market, we used to do absolutely everything we could to give them 3 or 4 interviews. I wanted every single chance I could at placing that candidate. And if I'm being honest, there wasn't much loyalty there to the client because for me, the candidate is the commodity in this business. So if I've got a candidate, he's got an interview, what are two or three other places that I can get them an interview because I need to secure the business. That's the reality of it, right? Fast forward to today, and we're completely different because we've got a completely different business. So, moral of the story is candidates have absolutely got options, multiple offers on the table. If somebody else is showing a bit more value than you, then that's where we might be losing out on some good candidates. So just think about that. You're not the only one interviewing these candidates, even though they might tell you and they might tell us that, oh no, I've only got one interview. Okay, fine. Would you only interview at one place? If you was going to pick up your career and move it, would you only interview at one place and go, that place is perfect for me? Absolutely not. You don't even test drive one car, you'll test drive two or three. So when it comes to your career, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to interview at two or three different places. So it's really about the details, the context, absolutely everything from day one needs to be perfect. The details matter. It's the tone, the formatting. And we're still talking about how we're advertising a job at the moment. Yeah, we're not even talking about anything else. It's just about how you're putting stuff out. I'm trying to help you to attract the right type of person to apply to your job ad, not your job description. When you sit down with the team and you say all the things like, oh, that new piece of tech or that new process, how amazing, how much time has that saved us? Is that sort of stuff on your job ad? You know, we're implementing tech, we're doing this, we're streamlining that, we're innovators of this. Is your job ad saying any of that? Because chances are it's probably not. And you need to start really painting a true reflection of what it's like to work in your business to get those people really excited. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Where are we at now? So where you post your job ad says everything. Absolutely. You could have the absolute killer advert. You could have everything in place. What are you doing next? If you're going to just place it on the likes of Indeed and Read and CV Library and everything else and just wait for the applicants, you're not going to get the person you want. I'm going to be really honest with you. We've always said, as a recruiter, we'll always post the jobs because if we don't, we're missing something. We pay for all of the job boards and we'll always post every single job on every single job board, right? That's the golden rule of recruitment. That's what you've got to do. Why wouldn't you do it? We've always said it's a real eye-rubbing moment when you open up a CV and they're doing the job. It's like, oh my God, guys, come around, have a look at this CV, this candidate's doing the job and they've applied for the role that they're doing. It's incredible. You need to do something about it. You need to go and get the right person for your business. And it's, look at it from a different angle. If you was an advisor and you was growing your business with clientele and you said, bottom line, I don't take on any clients with anything under 100K of assets. If you were going to a networking event and every client in that room had under 100K of assets, would you go back to that networking event next week and the week after and the week after that? If you knew every person in that event didn't hit the caliber of client that you were looking for, you wouldn't. You'd find somewhere else. That's what you got to do with your job ad. If something's not working here, you need to pick it up and move it, or at least have it in multiple places. If not, you're going to keep getting the same caliber and same quality of candidate apply for your job role. So get up and be creative. Go beyond your job boards. You need to start thinking like a marketeer. Sell the future, not just the job role. Ask yourself, what articles, what forums, what communities, what podcasts, where is my ideal candidate? I'm looking for a paraplanner. Where are they going to be hanging out? Well, they could be hanging out in a professional paraplanner community. They could be hanging out on the financial planning club community. They could be hanging. Where are they hanging out? You know, that's where you want to get your message, because these people aren't searching job boards. They're happily doing the job that they're doing. You might get the odd person that's searching job boards. They might be unhappy. They might be inquisitive. They might have a one-to-one coming up and they want to make sure they're still getting paid, you know, what the market rate is, because you best believe they're doing their research all the time, right? So you need to get creative as well. Where do you go for inspiration, not just information? When you're looking for, good candidates and niche roles, where you place your job ad is absolutely essential. So think like a marketeer, be a little bit more creative. Your website absolutely matters. I've got a few experiences about companies not having an online presence or even a social media, but they've been great businesses as it is, but they've grown very organically. A candidate will Google you immediately because I would do the same thing. If I was going somewhere, we all do it right now. We Google things. In fact, most people are moving over to ChatGPT. So, what does ChatGPT say about your business? That's an interesting one. Who's gone on ChatGPT and typed in, tell me everything you know about XYZ? Because that's where a lot of people are starting their searches these days. But either way, look on AI, look on Google. What does that look like for a candidate that's gone, I've seen a job ad from XYZ. Let me just Google it. What does it look like? What's the first thing they see? What's the first page they land on your website? How easy is it to find your careers page? How easy is it to find your team page that they can see, oh, who works there? Oh, okay, fine, yeah, yeah. The team page, what does it say about your team? When did they start? What journey have they gone on? They started as an administrator, they're now paraplanner, whatever it may be. They're going to do some research into your business. So you need to really think about your website, make it easy, have a look at Google, have a look at AI. What does the world tell me about your business? All right. To give you a bit of an example of that, many years ago, we took on a client who was offering a great role for a paraplanner. They were paying well. There was a good sized business, really good caliber of clients. There was a link to an accountancy practice. It was a recruiter's absolute dream. I'm thinking this is, it was flexible working. I think it was only 2 days in the office. They were paying really, really well. We could fill this overnight. The problems we had because they didn't have a website, it had under construction. And I said, look, when's the website going to be live? Oh, it's been under construction for about 13 years. I'm like, wow, that's a problem. I can't find you on LinkedIn or social. No, we're not on social. Just break down. How have you grown to a team of 10? There was 9 or 10 in the business. How have you grown? No, just word of mouth, really. So and so knew so and so, and it just grew organically, which is perfect. But there's going to be a limit to that. There's only going to be so many people that so many other people know that want to work for your business. So that was just an overall real big struggle now. So the way that we work, we're so transparent in what we do, in the way that we meet with clients every single 2 weeks and we go through the full market. We tell them about everything that's going on. Now, when it comes to firms that don't have any online presence, we say, look, before you hire, this is what you need to do, because there's no point paying us or any other recruiter or anyone else until you've got the basics in place. What is the ambitions of the business? Right now, you need to hire, but what does life look like in 3 years' time? Are you growing a business, or is this a lifestyle business that you've got here, or are you growing a business? Because if you're growing a business, we need to start putting recruitment, we need to start putting websites and social media and everything in place. So it enables you to grow a lot easier. If it's a lifestyle business, then it's probably not a preference, but you'd probably be best off growing in the way that you have been growing through recommendations and referrals and so on, so on. So just really think about your importance or the importance of a website as well. I need to get on. I've got 20 minutes and I've got a few more slides I want to get through. The interview, two-way conversation, standard questions, polite nods, on to the next. It's just not cutting it anymore. It's where both sides really figure out if there's a future together. So many firms are still running these first stage interviews as tick boxes, almost trying to get people to trip up and put some hurdles into place. Culture matters far too much for that kind of approach these days. We need to be really thinking about things different. Excuse me. Really rethink about the purpose of an interview. We need to structure the conversations, but we don't need to script them. Real conversations bring out the best in people. Don't do it in the office if you don't want to do it in the office. Go for a walk, meet them in a coffee shop, break their guard down a little bit. Share context where the business is going, how the role fits. Don't wait. Sorry, don't wait. Old school. Second interview. Oh, we'll do a competency based interview on the second round. Uh, Fine. Why not do it earlier on? Why not when you first meet a candidate? What would you do if? Just break it as a conversation. Instead of getting people's expectations up, right, I'll get in for a competency-based interview now. Oh, I need to be thinking about the STAR method. What was the situation, the task, what action, and what was the result? It's nonsense, right? I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it can just be framed in a different way. Break it down. What would you do if? And how would you approach? And just have those conversations much earlier on and just break those barriers down. Invite questions early on as well. How many people, when they get to an end of the interview, go, and do you have any questions for us? They go, oh, no, you've done really well, actually, and answered all of the questions. Of course I have. But how many people get to that point and say, have you got any questions? Invite those much earlier on. You want to be looking for values, not just skills. Tools can be taught, right? Skills can be taught, but mindset is far harder to shift. You look for people who take ownership, who show curiosity, who align with your approach to not just recruitment, but it could be your clients, your risk, your trust, your values. Lots of offices have their values plastered all over the wall. Always have those in mind when you're interviewing. How do these guys or girls or these candidates fit in with the values? Really observe how they interact, even in those informal chats. They're the best ones because everybody has their interview face and everybody has their telephone voice and everybody's got their interview posture. Get them out of it, break it down. Let's find out who they really are for them as a person. Because look, don't get me wrong, skills are incredibly important and we all want somebody that can hit the ground running. So you've still got to question it, but culture is a massive driving force in recruitment. Really break down what it is they're doing, how that fits in with your business. How many advisors are you supporting at the moment? How do you find that? Is that busy? What's your peak busy times, quiet times? How many cases do you work on? Our guys might work on 5 a week. Sometimes it's 10 a week. Or if I think back to last, just break that down and have that real candid conversation instead of just pen paper. Can you tell me what do you currently do? Just make it more of a conversation than a Q&A, and you'll see a whole complete different person. What tech are you using? Oh, that's interesting. We looked at that piece of tech. We currently use this. What would you say the biggest pros are to that piece of tech? Interesting. Ask them different questions. This is your time to really learn to get to know them as much as it is for them to get to know you. So just make it more meaningful. Client experience is part of your brand. Absolutely. Killer question for you all. Would you be proud if your interview process was shared on LinkedIn tomorrow? Just think about that. When we manage the recruitment process for our clients, no matter who applies, no matter who reaches out to us, no matter who we reach out to, we speak to them or we respond to them. Every single person hears from us. And I'll tell you why that's important, because they might not be a good fit for your business now, but where are they going to be in 5 years' time? And if you're giving them that experience, we want to make recruitment as easy as possible. And if you think over the years, how many times have you interviewed somebody and then maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the line, you see that person on social media, go, oh, look, that's where they're working now. That's incredible. They've had a great career. They've got on and done really, really good stuff. We interviewed that person 5 years ago. Wouldn't it be nice if you gave somebody such an awesome experience that they're always got you in the mindset and you get that email and say, oh, look, I interviewed you 3 years ago. I wasn't quite right then because I didn't have X, Y, Z. But over the last 3 years, I've done this and this is where I'm at now. And I've been following the business and I'd love to come and meet with you. That stuff happens, but it happens when you give them a really good candidate experience. The good, the bad, the ugly, everybody needs feedback. Even I need feedback after this webinar. Always get feedback, all right? So just make sure that you are speaking and meeting. And I completely understand that everybody here is flat out busy. And I understand that when people apply to a job role, 90%, 95% are not going to be doing the job right now. give them your time, respond to them, make sure that they're hearing from you. All right, that to me is important. Moving on quickly, collaborative versus chaotic. Who gets a say in hiring? You need to decide this without turning it into a free for all. You absolutely want input, but you don't need interference here. You want to make sure that the candidate is fully aware of the process, what to expect, time, place, whatever it may be. Let's just make this absolute solid from day one. Who should be involved? This is always interesting, and this is always a talking point amongst every firm. And every firm likes to do things different, and there's nothing wrong with being different. When me and Lewis was growing a recruitment business, we used to meet all the candidates first. It would probably be Lewis have a first interview, I'd have the second, or we'd do it together. And then at the end, we'd go, oh, come and see the team. Roles reversed now. We don't meet the candidate until the team's met them. Because the team are the people that are going to be working with them every single day. It's just, you want your team to come off and go, how good was they? How nice were they? They were on similar walks. They were this person. They were really good attitude. They were positive. They were enthusiastic. Can I see myself sitting next to that person 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, whatever your working arrangements are? Can I see myself going to lunch with that person? I know it sounds silly, but these are big things, right? These are really, really big things. And this all builds culture within your business. It's all about the right person that fits within your business. Some of the clients that we recruit for, we know hands down when we speak to a person, we go, they are perfect for that business, hands down. We've worked with them for years. We understand culture. We've recruited a number of people within their business. We know the type of background, the experience, the personality. We get it. Your team needs to get it as well. Your team needs to meet people. So really do think about who meets people at what point. Do it right. Collaboration can really, really bring sort of balanced insights and stronger team buy-in. Doing it wrong, it's going to slow things down. Decisions are going to get drawn out, and it's going to get mixed messages for the candidates as well. So do think about who comes in and where. And I know I've got a stage 1, stage 2 on here. Look at this little fancy thing with Canva now. Look, I can move my cursor. Stage 1 and stage 2 here. Again, these could be moved around. This isn't set in stone. Who in your business can assess culture? At what point do you want them to be coming into the interview? Who is going to be managing that team? Who's going to be joining to really understand that person? Just really think about getting this hire right from the outset. At what point do you run testing? Our process, we will speak to candidates, screen the CVs. We will then video interview for cultural fit and everything else. We will then invite them to meet with our clients. Then we test. All right. So they've had two interviews with us, if you like, one with a client, then we test. And the testing isn't a hurdle. It isn't to catch people out. It's to identify any kind of knowledge gaps. It's to see how they prioritize their workload. It's to see where they are technically. It's to see how they maybe extract information, whatever it may be. Set clear roles, set clear expectations, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it may be. Try and steer clear of any kind of feedback in the way of, yeah, I liked them. Be more specific about, yeah, I liked them, because that means nothing to nobody. Basic scorecarding can be really, really good. Fit, personality, experience, skill, tech. Are they using the systems? Do they fit with it? Just a basic scorecard, rate it 1 to 10, sit down, have a team day, get everybody in. What did everybody think of this person? Have some lunch, whatever it may be. So just really think about, with different people in the mix, you'll never get a total agreement amongst everybody. Not all 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 people in your business are going to go, candidate A was hands down the best. You're not looking for a total agreement. You're looking for a bit of clarity amongst the whole process. All right, so think about that. This is the fun bit. This is the exciting bit. It's about making the offer. It's about being quick. It's about being fair, and it's about being full of intent. What makes a great offer? It just balances the value, the relevance, and the tone of everything. It is about having the competitive salary. You should know this from the outset. You should absolutely know what you need to offer to nail that person. Nobody wants to go through all these processes and interviews and testing or whatever it may be for you to fall short on something you should have known at day one. Um, I get it. They're going to be interviewing elsewhere, and there's going to be a bit of to and fro, whatever it may be. Um, but offering a competitive salary based on real data, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that if you're recruiting for a paraplanner in London, go onto a job board and type in paraplanner London. Have a look at your competition. There will probably be 100 job adverts looking for a paraplanner in London, and there will be all these different salary ranges. That's the market. That's where you're at. You also need to think about the talent that you've got in your team. What are you paying your team at the moment? If you are looking for somebody that's very happy in what they do and you are with headhunted them, they're moving because they want a little bit of an increase in salary. What does that look like? Really be fair with your offer. Talk about your perks as well. Just outline absolutely everything, because sometimes it's not always about the salary. It's about the overall perks, the flexibility. We've got some great, like a cash plan in our business where they can claim back dental, opticians, physio, whatever it may be. Sometimes that's worth more to some than it is to others. But ultimately, you are offering a place to grow and belong, and not just I will pay you to do this, and you will come and you will leave, and that's it. You don't want to have that outlook. In today's market, as I said at the very, very beginning, candidates are interviewing at least 2 to 4 other firms. If they say they're not, trust me, they absolutely are. But as I said, let's be honest, we'll all do the exact same thing. So just move fast, but be thoughtful. Align on salary, get it done. If you're going to send over the offer, get the offer over to them. All right. If you say you're going to do it by Friday, get it over to them by Friday. Or what if you're doing it internally? Great. If you're using your recruiter, let's get the offer letter out. Let's just nail everything. The hard part's done. This is the easy part. This is the fun part. This is the negotiation. This is where you secure that candidate that's going to push on and really sort of grow your business. All right. So let's get this part absolutely spot on. Setting people up to succeed. I'll touch on this quickly. How many people here think onboarding starts from day one? It doesn't. Really think about look, you can talk to these candidates during their notice period. They'll want to hear from you regardless. You want to set them up to succeed and not to fail. Onboarding isn't only about logins and laptops. It's really about shaping out and explaining what their work life is going to look like and what success looks like in the first 90 days. How does the team communicate? Share the mission and the values. Within your first 90 days, this is what we're going to be doing, and this is going to be the objective, and this is how we're going to get you there. It's really about making sure they hit the ground running, and you don't have to do that on day one. You can absolutely start this a week before, 2 weeks before. Hey, just to give you an insight, these are the meetings that we've got planned for you in the first week. These are the type of cases that we're hoping to get you working on. These are the team people that you're going to be, just whatever it may be. You don't want to walk in through the door blind, not knowing what's going on. I wonder what my first day is going to be like. You want to walk in through the door going, I know exactly what I'm doing today. I'm meeting so-and-so and I'm going to be doing this. And we're going to have a bit of, going to go out for a coffee, or we're going to have whatever it may be. Set them up to succeed, right? Don't set them up to fail. We're nearly there, guys. Hang on in there. Sorry if I've bored you to death. Recruitment's done. Now what? We are a reflection business. Everything we do, we reflect, even to the point that we have a 3W Friday. Every Friday, we get together with a team and we say, right, 3Ws. What's everybody's 3Ws this week? What worked well? What didn't work so well? And what are we going to do differently next week? 3Ws. Let's go. Recruitment is done. Now what? What development can you offer to that person very early on? If you did any technical tests throughout the recruitment process, what can you start aligning them with in terms of improving on that particular knowledge gap that you identified? What work can you involve them in straight away? You don't need a perfect plan, but you just need to show there's a path forward and that everybody is walking it together. So just don't think because they're over the line, it's absolutely done. In some cases, this is where a lot of people were starting to think about their next hire and what journey it lies ahead with this new person. But this is the exciting bit. What kind of value are they going to add to the team? What kind of time are they going to free up for somebody? How much more time have they given you? What are you going to do more of? It's this is all the really good stuff. All right. Um, Thank you. That sums the last 10 minutes up. We are a recruitment agency. We do things a little bit different. We offer a fixed cost solution to take the stress and a lot of the financial surprise out of hiring in the financial planning profession, if you like. We are absolutely brand advocates first. We do cement ourselves within your team, within your business. We are specialists, and I know everybody will say, "Oh, everybody's a specialist." We only recruit within the four walls of a financial planning business. So any role within those four walls, we can absolutely help you with. We are retained for results. We always say to all of our clients, you have to look at us as if we're downstairs on a separate floor. We are your in-house embedded recruitment solution. We are about building teams and not just putting bums on seats. We are not just filling roles. We want to help your business, not today, but also next year as well. We are about growing good teams. If I was just to tell you briefly about our process and the way we do things, we will create the brief and the role design. We will create all of the job specs. We will create absolutely everything our side. We will advertise, we will search, and we will headhunt every single person. And this is where it's a little bit different, right? Because this is our job, but we will advertise absolutely everything, and we will drive traffic to those adverts. We will absolutely get people to see our messages. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? Come and see how this firm's doing it. And we will headhunt and we will drive. We will CV, screen, we will video interview. We will support our clients through the recruitment process, the interviews, the offers, the notice periods, and thereafter as well. That's what this looks like in terms of you see the candidate before you meet them. There is a horrible stat within recruitment that within the first 90 seconds whether you're going to hire somebody or not. You've done the nice thing and took an hour out your day to meet a candidate that you've only seen on paper. Within 2 minutes of them walking through the door, you're going to know whether they're going to fit within your team or not. Unfortunately, you've made a decision that they're not the right fit for your business, and now you're going to spend the next 50 minutes just being a nice person because that's what you are. And you're going to give them a full hour of your time, and you're going to answer all of their questions, and you're going to tell them all the wonderful things about your business, but you knew 58 minutes ago that they're not even right for your business. Unfortunately, it happens. It happens a lot. That's why all of our candidates are represented with a video. It's about 10 minutes in length. We're not asking for war and peace. We're just really trying to showcase who they are and what they look like. We create all of the marketing, all of the content for all of our clients as well. So we want to take everything away. Everybody is time sensitive. Don't do things you're not good at. Give it to us. I like to think we're fairly good at it. But that's enough from me talking about us because I just want to help you guys. So if there's any questions that anybody's got, please do feel free to ask me anything that you might have. I did promise you a bit of a data insight. As long as I can get off a Canva, I hate using new things for the first time. I am absolutely off Canva. Let me share my screen again. This isn't nothing spectacular. This is just a little bit of an insight that we've got on our website, and I'll share the link to this in the email at the end as well. Just giving you a bit of a clearer overview of the market as it stands. Within a financial planning business, there are 9,439 authorized firms. Chris, we'll have a conversation about that, absolutely. So there's 9,439 firms in the UK that have a financial planner within their business. I have excluded retail banks, even though the news with NatWest and Evelyn, those guys might be coming back into the mix. But for now, they're not in my content. They're not in my data. There's 19,500 owner managers. There is 27,789 wealth advisors, just under 4,500 people in compliance risk AML. This comes from a data set that we've been cleansing and updating for the last 10 years now. Further details on the website do break down about firm size. We all know that there's a very smaller number. Look, 80% of our market is SMEs, right? The micro and the small firms. So micro is a firm with one advisor, small 2 to 3 advisors. we can see here there's only 137 firms that have got 26 or more advisors, but they make up 8,500 in terms of population of registered advisors within their business. So a lower number of firms, but more advisors, which is fairly obvious. Uh, if you want to see what it looks like down to your particular region, I've then broken it down to further into regions. If you want to know about your market, the competition, how many firms are in London, how many owners, compliance, wealth, mortgage, and everything in between as well. So we'll share a link to that if you want to have a little read about that as well. That'll be really, really good. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions. I've got 4 minutes. I've got an incredibly dry mouth. I hope you've all learned something. Any feedback live would be amazing. Is there anything that's made you think a little bit differently? Do you have any questions at all? As we've still got quite a few people in the lobby, or have you all dozed off on this Friday morning and are just looking forward to your weekend? Anybody got any questions? Chris, I'll absolutely send you some details about what we do and how we charge as well. So yeah, that'll be fine. No questions. Well, look, when you exit, please do give us some feedback. All right. If anybody wants to talk to me, Louisa, that's fine. I hope you're okay. I haven't spoken to you in absolute ages. Hope you've been keeping well. If anybody wants to dive into this a little bit further, I'm more than happy to give up some of my time to speak with you all anyway. So just let me know how we can help. Like I said to you, there's enough business out there for everybody. All right. I'm more than happy to give back and help where we can. Chris, Louisa, I hope you both have a wonderful weekend. Holly, I know I gave you an early shout out. Very nice to see you. Hope you're okay. And for the purpose, I'll stop the recording.